Seabrook, Texas is a bayfront town right outside of Houston. It's home to beautiful waterfront homes, great fishing locations, amusement parks, wildlife trails, and great bars and restaurants. But in 1984, this bustling tourist town held a dark secret led by a wealthy entrepreneur with very dark intentions. William Bill List was a millionaire who built a 34,000 square foot home on a 4.5 acre lot that backed up to Trinity Bay. Rather than using wood for the framing, the home was fabricated with 175 tons of steel, with steel burglar bars trimming the exterior walls. Nothing about this home seemed inviting, and what was going on inside of the 3-story walls was far worse than the structure's curb appeal. List was a convicted sex offender, but that didn't stop him from picking up young men on Montrose and allowing them to stay at his house in exchange for sexual favors. In 1959, List went to prison in Ohio for molesting teenage boys. He was married and had 2 children, although his wife divorced him while he was in prison. His children followed him to Texas, and his daughter, Deborah Thornton, died in a notorious pickaxe slaying by Carla Faye Tucker in 1983. Afterwards, List, who was known to have a volatile temper, disinherited his son due to a falling out. To satisfy his sexual desires, List cruised Houston's Lower Westheimer Strip in the Montrose district almost every weekend and picked up street hustlers. He preferred them in their teens, and he would pick up a few boys at a time. He would keep them drugged and locked in the mansion, providing everything for them but freedom, while they provided him with his maniacal fantasies. Many of the boys that were later interviewed stated that there were other things List would do that they didn't want to talk about. Some boys would stay and others would eventually be let go. Rumors still circulate to this day that Bill List killed several of the boys in that house. By September of 1984, List had several young men living in the grotesque mansion with him. One of them was 19-year-old Elbert Irvin Holman, whose street name was Smiley. Cocky and confident, Smiley was an addict and a veteran street hustler who had once knifed another kid to steal his Jeep. Jeff Staton, who was a 16-year-old who'd spent time in a mental hospital and prison for auto theft, was also living in the List mansion. Tim, a 19-year-old hustler from Belleville, Illinois, whose street name was Peppermint, was there as well. In October of 1984, the young men, tired of the mistreatment towards them, decided to put an end to it with Smiley writing on a wall, "Bill List is a very sick man. He is going to die. Smiley, 1984. While List was away from the home, Smiley and the other 4 boys living there at the time destroyed the mansion. Food was pulled from the refrigerators and thrown on the walls. Cushions were ripped open. The chandeliers and light fixtures were broken, and a houseplant the size of a tree was rammed through a wall in the dining room. Furniture was smashed and hundreds of planters were broken. The lawn furniture was tossed into the pool, and a glass top from a table was dropped out of the 3rd-floor bedroom window to shadow on the atrium floor. The pool was brown with dirt from broken planters. Laundry detergent was dumped into the jacuzzi, and suds began dripping into the fountain below. They were looking for new things to break when Bill's Pontiac pulled into the driveway at 5:45. They went and got Bill's shotgun and a box of shells from his bedroom closet. The only thing left to do was to decide who was going to use it. Smiley gladly took the gun, went downstairs, and aimed the gun at the level he thought Bill's head would be at when he walked in. When the door to the garage opened and List walked in, someone yelled, "Hi, Bill." Bill's foot was on the 2nd step of the staircase. Smiley pulled the trigger. List grabbed at his head and dropped. Jeff went to the catwalk and looked down at Smiley standing over List, relieving himself on the body. After the murder, Tim wanted out, so Jeff and Smiley bought him a plane ticket back to Illinois with Bill's credit card. The body was found the next day after Smiley got caught trying to cash Bill's stolen checks. Elbert Irvin Smiley pled guilty to murder and was sentenced to 45 years in prison. Smiley still says he has no regrets to this day. Bill List's Todville Mansion was then divided into 18 lots where 13 houses now stand. Some people say they've seen shadows of children, reported hearing odd noises, and have had feelings of being watched by shadowy figures around the area.